What's up, everybody? Today I have a guide for you on branding in Dekaron. This video was suggested by Zial. Very nice guide. I'm a returning player after years of hiatus. Could you explain branding? I'm assuming it's done somewhere in our deca with some sort of material requirement. Also, if you need an idea for future videos, it'd be great to have some newbie-friendly guide concerning tips on leveling, pre-meister builds for each class, dungeons to focus on, level 170, and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm the only newbie out there who would be grateful. Yes, okay, so for this video, I'm going to focus on branding. I can't do all that in one video. I'm just going to focus on this. It's reasonable for one video. If you want to see any of that other stuff in the future, continue to, suggest it. And again, if it gets the most likes, that'll be the next video I work on. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about branding. Just a reminder that if you want to see your video suggestion, leave it in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video. As long as you get the most upvotes, that's going to be the next video that I work on. Also, if you could subscribe, like the video, not that hard to do, and helps me out immensely. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Branding in Dekaron is actually really simple. In order to brand, you just need a couple components. Specifically, you need soul stones. So where do you get soul stones? That's the first thing that you need when you want to brand. So soul stones come in a couple of different varieties. The one that you're primarily going to be interested in is the 100% soul stone. The reason for this is that when you're branding, you'll have a 100% chance of re-rolling your brands. There are other ones as well, such as a 20%, 40%, 80%, 60%, etc. You don't need to worry about those, though, because the 100% the 100% soul stone is just so easy to get. Now, in order to get 100% soul stones, you can get them from Jack over here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to New Seed of Dream Exchange. You're going to go to Premium, and then here you can do a 1500 Seed of Dream exchange for Soul Stones 250. Now, the reason this says 250 is Soul Stones used to be based on level. They are not anymore. They are now based on percent. However, when you do this exchange option, you will get 850 100% Soul Stones, which is plenty to do whatever you're trying to do for the most part, unless you're trying for like absolute perfect brands. This is going to make you pretty happy. So, Seed of Dreams, you can farm them in the field. You can also exchange at NPC Wingo here for Seed of Dreams using your Materas Ghost, Angers, and Insanities. This is definitely the way I suggest doing it. So farm your seeds, farm your ghosts, Angers, Insanities, exchange them for the Seed of Dreams, and then you can go and you can get your Soul Stones. If you have questions about getting Seed of Dreams, maybe I can cover that in a future video. But generally, as long as you're farming, you're going to get those at a reasonable rate. Now, let's say you've gone ahead and you've farmed your Soul Stones. Now, how do you brand? So to brand, you're going to come over to these two guys over here, Axion or Pablos, and you're going to talk to them. And there is an option here that says... we're in our deca, by the way, sorry. That says disassemble, amplify, brand the item. And you're going to hit brand, and then you're going to hit brand. So once you've hit the brand option, this is the screen where you're going to be doing your branding. So in your inventory, you should have whatever item it is that you want to brand. For example, here I've got my Royal Ankasher gloves. These are the ones that are used for DK, and I can look at my brands. Now, when it starts off, you're not going to have any brands here at all, right? So we'll have to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can go from there. Actually here, I'm just going to grab like a random item. I think I might be able to explain it a little bit better that way. I have some soul stones to waste, so I don't really mind doing that. So here, let's go to the advanced armor, level 184 pants. Those are perfect. So we're going to grab those, and we'll go over there, and then I can explain this a little bit better. So when you first have your item, like I said, it's not going to have any brands on it at all, and you're going to have to unlock all of your brand slots. So go to brand. So as you can see, compared to the gloves, which had 4 options, these pants, which have no brands, have nothing here at all. I don't have the 100% on here, but I have a bunch of 80s, so I'm just going to use those. And what you're going to do is you got to have a little bit of dill, and you're just going to click brand. As long as it succeeds, which if you have the 100%, it will every time, you'll start getting options. So the first thing you want to do is you want to fill out all your brand options, right? So I now have 4 brand options. So after you have 4 brand options, every time you hit brand, it is going to re-roll everything on here unless you use a brand lock, which I don't think I actually have it on here, but I can explain the concept of a brand lock in a little bit here. Now, what are you looking for? So this is these are Azurnite pants, right? So what am I going to be looking for? Now, there's a couple brand options that I think are worth your time. One is Vitality, and the nice thing about these stats when you're rolling them is you can hover over them and you can see what the max stat is. But generally, whatever stat you're going for, you want it to be gold, right? Because that's going to be a higher range. So, for example, if I wanted Vit, you can see here that the max Vit range for these pants are 76. Now, do note that the range for everything does change depending on the level of the item. So, for example, a level 190 item versus a level 184 item, you're going to be able to get higher brand ranges. Or if you have like a Rondo set, right, that's level 200, or a weapon, you're going to be able to get much higher brand options just because the item level is higher. So let's go ahead and let's talk about a couple of these brand options, though. So Vitality is a good one. You know, that's going to be one that gives you critical damage. What's another good one? We can kind of go here. This would be good if I was using a ranged attack, right? A ranged attack character. This is just base range attack, which is nice. You can get base range attack, base melee attack, and base magic attack. This is usually one of the first ones that I go for. Another option would be to go for a high strength, spirit, or dex roll, depending on your class. Those are also really good. I like HP sometimes. That can be useful depending on what you're going for. The other one that I think is really useful is you can actually get a roll on your armor or on your weapon for experience increase. So if you're just trying to level, getting XP brands can be really nice. Or if you make yourself a set that is just specifically for leveling, having XP brands on your weapon or armor can be very useful as well. Here's like a 2% melee attack. Again, that's decent, but I think either the strength or the base melee attack is going to give you better stats. However, for like a second roll, you know, that one might actually be pretty good. DK attack power can also be nice if you're going to be using it on the DK server. As you can see here, this is a 3% XP increase. This is another really nice one. You can see if you get a gold one, it's up to 5%. This is, like I said, if you're going for an experience set, that's going to be really good as well. So just to give you an example of like what I have on my character here. For example, here's my orb, right? So I just have a base magic attack. That's really nice. That's good. If I wanted to, I could get some brand locks and try to get some other stats on there as well. My orb is actually pretty bad though. Like I've had it for a long time, but I have like horrible rolls on it, so it's not really worth investing that much into, so I just haven't. Let's see, here's another one. So like, for example, here's my armor. I have 743 magic attack and I have 38 Vit. That was nice to get both of those. I get the critical damage and I get the base attack damage as well. This would be an example of like a double brand, right? So on my Helion gloves here, I have 770 magic attack, but I also have 64 spirit. That is really good because I'm getting my magic attack increased by the spirit and by the magic attack damage. Now, in order to get multiple brands that are useful to your character, you're going to be using something called a brand lock. So when you go to brand, if you have brand locks in your inventory, you'll be able to lock a stat and then you can roll. What this lets you do is keep a stat that you want. So like, let's say that I wanted to keep the magic 627 magic attack power. I could lock it and then I could roll the other 3 stats. And then I could try to get like a spirit brand, for example, or a DK attack. Or if I wanted experience, I could go for experience. Or if I wanted vitality, I could go for vitality, right? So that would be an example of that. Now, brand locks generally come from the D shop. Every once in a while, they are also given out during events. Depending on how much are being sold in the D shop and when they've come from events, you can also buy them from other players. I've looked at the agency every once in a while, and you can get them for not a horribly high price. So right now, you can see someone selling like a crud ton of them, 363 of them for about 138 mil each. Honestly, not a horrible price if you were going for something and you were trying to get like perfect stats. I feel like that would be a reasonable price to buy brand locks, but this changes depending on how often they've been in the D shop and how often they've been given out during events. So Generally, though, the first thing you want to do is you just want to try to get either a base stat damage brand or you want to try to get yourself a stat damage brand, right? Like strength, dexterity, or spirit. Or again, if you're just purely going for leveling, I think the experience brand is probably your best bet. Because if you think about it, you can get experience brands on all these items, so you could get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And you could go even farther. You could go to accessories and stuff too. But if you got 5 gold brands with 5%, that would be a 25% increase to your experience, and every little bit counts. So that could be really nice. Yeah, that is branding. I think that covers pretty much everything there is to do with branding. There isn't a ton to cover. There's just the time of branding your items and getting the stats that you want. If anyone has any specific questions about what brands they should be going for, you can leave those in the comments. I would be happy to cover some of that. But hopefully this gives you like a base for what you need to be doing in terms of branding your gear, your weapons, your accessories, etc. A lot of times people are asking how they can increase their damage and they haven't branded any of their gear. Branding all of your gear is a great way to significantly increase your damage early on. And like I said, the soul stones are just not hard to get. 1500 Seed of Dreams is just not that hard to get. Just get your character out there farming or make a couple alts and have them do auto farming, and you're going to be in really good shape, and you'll be able to get those soul stones, you'll be able to do your branding, and you're going to be a happy camper. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you want to see one of your suggestions in the future, again, make sure to leave it in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, and as long as it gets the most upvotes, that'll be the next video that I work on. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, take care.